Well, surprise everyone. I'm early, I know. For those who get the notifications, I did not put out an alert to let everyone know that I was going to be a bit early today, but here I am, and welcome to another edition of Maryland's Cafe Society radio show on YouTube. Of course, it's Saturday, February the 23rd, 2019. And boy, we missed last week. So let's just go back and say how was Valentine's Day for you guys and all that good stuff. I had a pretty decent day at work. And again, I'm always surprised with all the last minute shoppers who come in like hours before dinner on Valentine's Day to, of course, get something for their sweethearts or significant others. But anyway, I hope it was a good one for you. Obviously, the week has been pretty heavy with news this week, and we won't get into all of that, but obviously, some pretty tragic things have happened here in this country. In Aurora, Illinois, just minutes from where we broadcast um, the show from, there was a horrific workplace shooting that took place. I blogged about it. So if you haven't checked out my blog, be sure to go there, Maryland's Cafe Society on WordPress. And yeah, it's just something that we haven't, as a country, we haven't quite gotten a handle on yet. And I think it should be a priority, and so we'll see what becomes of this one. But aside from that, we've obviously in entertainment news here in the Chicagoland area, we've also been hit with some high profile breaking news stories on some of Chicago's actors and entertainers. And again, I'll probably blog about those. So you'll go to the blog at some point during the week to check that out. All right. All right. So um, it's going to be a short show because I do have somewhere I have to be. But let's get into on this day in Black history, right? And so here's some good ones I found. And we hear about the high profile Black history moments and people, right? But these are some that you may have not heard about. So on this day in Black history in 1965, Constance Baker Motley became the first woman elected president of the Manhattan Borough in New York. Yeah. And just 1 year before that, she became the first Black woman elected to the New York Senate. Now, prior to breaking those barriers, Constance Baker Motley attended Fisk University and New York University. She earned her law degree from Columbia Law School in 1946. So that's a good one. Also, on this day in Black history, in 1979, Frank E. Peterson Jr. was named the first Black general in the Marine Corps. Now, he suffered many moments of racial discrimination throughout his life and military career. You really have to read up on him. He is, by definition, a perseverer. If you look up persevere, you'll see his picture. But here's the story. In his first attempt to join the military, he was asked to retake his entrance exam because he did so well, they thought he cheated. It's crazy. And of course, some years passed, and after the desegregation of the armed forces happened, Peterson finally enlisted into the Navy in 1950. 2 years later, and after becoming a Marine, he completed flight school and was later commissioned as a second lieutenant. Now, Lieutenant Peterson also became the Marines' first Black aviator. Now, again, only people who are in that arena would probably know about this Frankie Peterson Jr., right? So I'm happy to bring this to you. Now, here's a bit more on him. As I mentioned, in 1979, he became the first Black Marine general officer. He served as commanding general for the Marine Corps Combat Development Command. And in 1988, he retired as the first Black three-star lieutenant general. And listen to this. On October 6th of 2018, just last year, the U.S. Navy named and christened its newest guided missile destroyer ship in honor of Lieutenant General Frank E. Peterson Jr. So he continues to make history even as he has gone on. So again, he had an interesting life, as did Constance Baker Motley. So check them out when you get a chance. All right. Okay, so in news, real quick, business news, tech news, I found this interesting article on artificial intelligence and how it's changing the workplace and workforce in general. And this is according to a new report from Microsoft and International Data Corporation. Technology will continue to drastically transform the way businesses and particularly tech firms operate within the next 3 years. Remember, we talked some months ago how technology is accelerating everything, right? We talked about that. You know, for years, we had the telephone, and then we morphed into cell phones, and for a while we had flip phones. You get the picture. So everything's accelerating. Now there's some research out there from these two companies that found that as many as 15% of employees believe that AI, artificial intelligence, will have no impact on their jobs. And we talked a little bit about AI, artificial intelligence, on the show in previous times, but this is a real thing, everyone, and it is impacting all areas of our lives. So, but in the work arena, some people feel like, well, 15% say that they don't think it will impact their jobs. Now, the research also found that more than 77% of employees expect their employer to help them develop skills to adapt to the changing environment and technology. Now, according to Microsoft's MSFT Managing Director for Singapore, Kevin Wu, he says that employees need to take the responsibility for their own skill development so that they can respond to the changing work landscape. Their report found that by 2021, there will be an excess of traditional cognitive and manual skills, particularly in the Asian Pacific, such as data entry, numeracy, and communication and mechanical skills. And that's kind of the what has happened here, right? In the U.S., we have an abundance of those particular skill sets, people who can do those type of things, data entry and so forth. But there is a lack, they're saying, in the higher cognitive capabilities as well as social and technological skills, specifically a shortage of 3 key skills business leaders need most. Those 3 in-demand skills are digital skills, analytical abilities, and continuous learning capabilities. Now, Wu said that employees should focus especially on developing continuous learning abilities and creative analytical approaches. Now, there's a need to learn about skills around design thinking in regards to a solutions-based approach to problem solving, meaning you must be able to empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. Okay, so this clearly deals with those tech jobs that are going to be replacing some of the everyday jobs that we see happening. The artificial intelligence is going to be replacing those particular jobs, and so these are skill sets that you need to be developing as a person who is in the workforce or who plans to enter the workforce. And it's good to see that there are, human skills. We read that digital skills are necessary, but to empathize is a human skill. To define is a human skill. Ideate is a human skill. And then, of course, you have to make the prototype and then be able to test it. Now, teamwork and creativity is also important as we delve deeper into the digital age. And as an employee or a potential employee, you should surround yourself with colleagues who are eager to upskill too. Sometimes we get in some employees, those who've been in the workforce, get into a groove, so to speak, where, when change happens, they don't really want to change, but you should. The world is changing. We have to face it. I'm reading a very interesting article, studying, I should say. I've read it. Now I'm going back and I'm studying it. I'll be bringing some more interesting information to you in the coming weeks about how this world is changing. But yeah, surround yourself with others who are eager to upskill. Wu believes, who was a part of this research, believes that employees will need the environment of teamwork, a forum, to help create change. And teamwork, of course, enhances the creative mindset as well as the overall culture of the organization. Now, so again, people, entering the workforce or who are already in the workforce and you want to stay, or you just want to stay relevant, you want to be in the know, you want to, get your digital skills together working, you want to be able to compete in this tech world that we're living in. The three key skills that employers will be looking for and need, and there happens to be a lack of, include digital skills, analytical abilities, and continuous learning capabilities. And under that, of course, we talked about the ability to empathize, define, ideate, or create, prototype, as well as test. So, going back to school, I'm already taking some classes, and so I've made that decision that I'm going to stay relevant. All right. All right, and then in other business tech news, listen to this. Obviously, we know that the tech world has always lagged in the area of equal pay for women and even employing women. Well, there has been some research that has put together or compiled the top 10 cities that are friendly towards women in the tech arena. Now, according to data from the Census Bureau, women in tech earn 84% of what their male counterparts make. And this study was released last year by software platform Carta. And they found that men own 91% of employee and founder equity in Silicon Valley, leaving women with a measly 9%. Over the years, I had an opportunity to speak with some women from Silicon Valley, that small percentage of women who are making it happen. And in the coming weeks, we'll be, of course, addressing them as we move into Women's History Month, right? All right, so there are certain places, however, here in the United States that are more friendlier and equitable to women when it comes to being in the tech arena. And so they used some census data and other data and looked at some cities that had 200,000 residents or more and came up with this list of ranking for these places that provide or offer the best opportunities for women in the tech arena to thrive. All right. So coming in at number 10, St. Paul, Minnesota. Yeah. The percentage of women in tech jobs there are 27.7%. Also, Long Beach, California, with 22.3% of women in the tech industry. Number 8, Durham, North Carolina, with 28.7% of women in the tech arena. Kansas City, Missouri, with 29% of women in the tech arena. And number 6, Albuquerque, New Mexico. They have 29.7% of women in tech jobs there. And then rounding up the top 5, number 5, Arlington, Virginia. Listen, their gender pay gap is just 87%. And the women percentage of women in tech jobs there is 33.3%. And they say that the employment arena growth for women is expected to be 12%. Houston, Texas comes in at number 5 with a gender pay gap of 99%. The women in tech jobs there is 26%, and their growth in the tech arena for women is 19%. Number 3, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, everyone. Their gender pay gap is just 97%, and just over 30% of women work in tech jobs there. Their growth for women in the tech arena is 21%. Baltimore, Maryland comes in at number 2 with a gender pay gap of 93%. The women in the tech jobs make up 31%, and their tech employment growth for women is 28%. And number 1, are you ready? No, it's not Silicon Valley. It's Washington, D.C., people. That's right, Washington, D.C., with a gender pay gap of 95%. The women in the tech jobs make up 38.9, just under 39%. And they are expected, the tech employment industry for women to grow 24%. So I thought that was interesting information to share, especially as we are encouraging young ladies and girls to get into STEM or STEAM, and kind of close those numbers. And it's good news to hear that the pay gap is changing, coming up to speed where it should be for women. Our stock market, we won't be doing today. Entertainment news, of course, we have, as I alluded to when we opened the show, the R. Kelly news is all over the place. I may blog some more about that one. And then, of course, Jussie Smollett has been all over the news in the last week as well, and entertainment. And I will perhaps blog about that. So be sure to go to the blog by midweek or so to see what I have to say about that. But remember this one, the hostless 91st Oscars will air tomorrow night, that's Sunday, live on ABC. It's going to be 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 Central. So be sure to tune in. I'm just curious about what it's going to look like without having a host. I think they said just 1 or 2 other times in history of the Academy Awards has there not been a host, and they didn't do so well. But I think out of curiosity, people are going to be tuned in just to kind of see how the show flows. They're going to have some great performances, and of course some A-listers doing the presenting, and they never reached out to me. I know I put it out there that I was available and able to host. I know how to carry a show, people. All right. But nevertheless, we're going to see how things go. Okay, and I believe that is it. As I said, it's a short show. I checked in a little bit early, but it'll still be up when people tune in at noon expecting the show. I want to, the songs. I know, it's just been kind of hectic. Unfortunately, I'm not going to go there, but there has been some things developing in my personal life that has kind of slowed things down as well. But God will win. We will get the victory in all of this. But the songs that I've been promising all month long, because it's the month of love, and I wanted to share that I loved growing up, and of course wanted to share with you guys. So I'm working on them, and hopefully we'll get them up before the month ends. And so look for those, because they're going to happen. I think it's 2 songs I'm going to be presenting to you guys. They're going to happen this week. So be sure to check the YouTube channel, Marilyn's Cafe Society, for that. Also find me on Twitter, Marilyn's Cafe Social. I'm trying to spend more time there as well. And on Facebook, Marilyn's Cafe Society. Also check out the website, Marilyn'sCafeSociety.com, for the latest information. All right. that is it. And so for now, we're going to close the show, everybody, of course, with Love Is. And love is. That's just it. Love is, all right? And remember, if you don't do anything else this week, be sure that you live, you laugh, and you love as always. It's a pleasure and a privilege. We'll meet again next week right here on the YouTube channel, Marilyn's Cafe Society. Also midweek on Marilyn's Cafe Society on WordPress Press for the blog. And I'll be popping up some videos of me having karaoke moments with two of my favorite singers before. To look for that as well, everybody. Have a great rest of the weekend. Be safe, be careful, and peace.